Hello and welcome to the Globeducate Admissions Training. My name is Giulia Pizzolo. I am the Global Admissions and Parent Experience Manager, and I'm going to take you through the main features to look at when we look at admissions in Globeducate. I hope you're going to find it helpful, and I also hope that you're going to enjoy the journey. Admissions in Globeducate, we tend to use what we call the Family Experience Journey Framework. It might be a model you might be already familiar with. If not, this is how to look at it. It works as a kind of a wheel, which follows the family throughout their experience with us, starting with their first contact, the decision to apply, the enrollment at the school, the student experience with the school, and the kind of advocacy that the parents make of our school based on the experience they had with us. As you see, it has three layers. The red one, which is what is the driver from the center, the blue one, which is what we as a school are doing in that phase of the process, and the green one, which is what the parent, the family is doing in that phase of the process. So the first phase is the one which has to do mostly with the work that marketing communication does, because it has to do with the power of the brand of our school. So what we do is creating awareness and generating inquiries, leads, and the parents are in their initial phase of being attracted to the school and considering it as an option for their family. Then in the second part, that's where the intent takes shape. So the core driver is the school. This has a lot to do with what the work that admissions does and with the contact strategy that we use to deal with other families and nurture them throughout the conversion process, which is the process through which the family decides to inquire with our school, to come and visit us, to apply for their children, and then potentially, hopefully, to complete the purchase or to enroll at our school. On this left part of the screen, I would say we're looking more at what happens to the family once they're in the school, because we're speaking about the academic experience. So what we are doing to create a community for the entire school and experiences mostly for their children, but also for the parents, so that they all feel engaged and they have a wonderful experience with us. And this fourth part has mostly to do with the student outcomes. So what are the results of their performance with us, and how we can support the families in generating advocacy based on the achievement that their children have realized. This is actually more than a wheel. It's a kind of a spiral, because as you can imagine, it's a never-ending process, because we keep generating awareness, so we keep receiving interest, we keep having new families joining, children living their experience with us, parents talking about their experience, and so on. So this is the wheel, or the spiral as you wish, of the family experience journey. Now, since this training is about admissions mostly, so we're going to clearly look mostly at what happens in this part of the cake here. So in Globeducate, when we speak about admissions, we speak about a process, and we look at the process as divided in 6 plus 2, I would say, key stages. These key stages refer to the prospect, so to the child, okay? So the first stage is prospect, and this is when the child exists, basically, when we realize that there is a family with a student who is interested in potentially coming to our school. Once the family comes to visit, doesn't matter if the child actually did join the visit or not, then our prospect child becomes a visit conducted stage, because they have come and they have seen the school, so their interest is getting stronger. Then, if they have decided to apply, they move through the process and they become an application received as a stage, which means that they have sent us what is needed to apply to our school. It may be only a school report, it may be only an ID, maybe for younger children, for example. It may be just an email saying we are willing to apply for your kindergarten class. That depends, varies a lot on the school, but that's when they become application received. Then once we have accepted them, so once they have been evaluated, there has been an assessment if it was needed for that specific age group, and then we are informing the family officially. It can be an email, it can be a letter, and we are telling them, yes, your child is accepted to our school, we are happy to offer you a place. That's where they moved into the acceptance stage. And then if everything goes well, as smoothly as we hope, the family will choose our school and they will decide to proceed with the enrollment. So they will complete the enrollment, share whatever documents were missing, make the payment of the first installment or the deposit that also vary from one school to another. So in that moment, the child stage becomes enrollment. And then they stay here all the time until they actually do start school. So if, for example, they enroll in March, but they're only starting in September, they're going to stay in enrollment until September, until the day in which they physically start school. At that point, they're going to become started. There are two extra steps to this process, which are waitlist and close loss. Waitlist is quite likely to happen after acceptance. So let's say that the family applied and we are willing to welcome them, but at the moment we don't have a space available in their age group or class of interest. So we need to put them on a waiting list while we wait for a place to become available because, for example, we open a new class or because an internal family withdraws, etc. The other stage, the close loss, this might happen at any moment throughout the process because a deal becomes a close loss in a moment in which they drop out. So they decide, no, thank you, we're not continuing with applying to your school, for example, or maybe they have applied, they have been accepted, but then they've decided to go elsewhere. So then they become a close loss. Or even worse, in a way, we made all the work, they came to visit, they applied, they've been accepted, they've paid the deposit, but then from some reason, which might also not be depending on their will, for example, they do not relocate anymore, they become a closed loss. Okay, so these are the steps which you will find in the HubSpot, the CRM we use, and these are the steps that we usually report on. They are our common language. Okay, when we speak about the application process, we always speak about the 6+2 stages. In the next chapters of the training, you will be able to have a closer look at the key components that you need to get familiar with. The first ones are the key performance indicators, also known as KPIs, meaning the elements we report on every week in order to be able to analyze the way we work in admissions and make comparisons over time. So you will see a document, a PDF one, called KPI Definitions and Admissions Pipeline Stages, where you will find a detailed description of each of the stages we have just seen. So how do we define a lead, a prospect, a visit conducted, an application received, and so on. Then there is the second part of the training, which is dedicated to HubSpot. HubSpot is our CRM. For those who might not be familiar with this acronym, CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management System. So a CRM is a system that helps us to manage the relationship with our customers, so with our families. We will see how HubSpot works, what are the advantages of using it, and how to make the most out of it. And then the third part of the training focuses on best practices in the different phases of the admissions process. You will find 5 different manuals, one for each of the key stages where admissions is involved. So prospect, visit conducted, application received, acceptance, and enrollment. There is no manual for started because a starter has already started school, so it's not under the admissions responsibility anymore, so to say. These manuals have been written based on the experiences of different teams at different schools, and they get periodically updated, so they really aim at providing you with a concentrated collection of best practices. So we will go through all these documents together, and I really hope that the journey is going to be interesting.